All right, so Mr4Koffee vlog number 3. Let's do this, number 3. We'll talk about three different things here. First, we're going to talk about the social media and the internet in general. So, well, it's funny because I'm on social media and I'm on the internet, but so is everybody else. Let's face it, majority of people are on there. Everybody's in there. Everyone took the bait. Everybody got bitten by the social media bug, and everybody's on it. It's like some kind of a virus. It's like got a hold of everybody. So, what do I think about social media? Okay, let's talk about the positives of social media. Social media can be used to if you want to advertise your business, or it's really just good for the business. Like if you're advertising your business, if you got a business going on and you're selling a merchandise or whatever, that's a good way to use the social media to advertise your merchandise through Facebook, Twitter, uh, various other networks. I can't remember all of them, okay, but there's tons of them out there that you can use to advertise. But the major two I'm talking about, it's Facebook and Twitter, right? So that's one positive. But let's talk about the negative. Let's talk about the negatives about social media. One of the biggest negatives of the social media is the fact that people are hiding behind their keyboards, and they can stay anonymous. They can put a Batman or Superman or any celebrity actor or any kind of photo they can put out there, and any kind of garbage profile photo they can put out there, and they can hide behind the keyboard. Okay, they can create many different fake accounts and they can hide behind the keyboard. All right, it's impossible for Twitter and Facebook to check every single individual. It ain't gonna happen. Okay, so I don't care what the Mark Zuckerberg says. Okay, it ain't gonna happen. You cannot keep tabs on every single and each individual. Do you know how many people you would need just to keep tabs on every single each individual, and how long the process would be for you to be authorized to sign up with a Facebook or Twitter? It's not gonna happen, and they're not gonna do that because they need the goddamn money. Okay, they're exploiting people to make their business, to make their money. Okay, they don't really give a shit about you. They just care about this. That's the way it is. You just have to accept it or don't and live in the woods or whatever. Okay, but that's the way it is. I remember, guys, I didn't create this world. I just happen to live in it, just like you. So don't blame me. Okay, I didn't create this shit. Moving on. So that's the negative about social media, is the fact that anybody can hide behind the keyboard. It's not just the Facebook, Twitter, anything on the internet. Remember, you're still talking to somebody behind the keyboard, behind the computer, and that person can say whatever he wants to say because he's not in person in front of you. He's not talking to you in person, so he's not in front of you to say what he wants to say. So it is easy for a person to hide behind the keyboard and say whatever he wants to say. It's easy for a person to be courageous and to be the badass that he or she is while hiding behind the keyboard. It's very easy to say something behind the keyboard. It's very difficult to say something to someone in their face, like in person, because they know, oh, I cannot ban this person. I cannot block this person. He's right there in front of me. Okay? I'll have to deal with this person now in person because I'm talking to him in person. And I can run away, but maybe he'll catch me. I don't know. So they're not going to say kinds of shit that they're saying behind the keyboards. They're going to say it where it's safe. They're going to say it on the YouTube while they're anonymous through their different fake bots accounts. And they're going to say it on the Facebook and Twitter with all the other fake accounts that they got in fake emails. So they're going to do it where it's safe. That's where they're going to do it. That's where they feel more comfortable. They feel more comfortable saying it on the platform that's pretty much giving them a shelter to be anonymous and say whatever they want to say. Okay? So that's the one negative of social media and internet in general. It's the fact that people, human beings, are very complex. And there's all kinds of human beings. You got crazies, you got bipolars, you got schizophrenics, you got mentally ill people. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of mentally ill people out there, okay? And no one's doing a goddamn thing about it. No one's taking care of these people. And there's a lot of them out there fucking walking around, okay? That tells you how much they really care about society, okay? Yeah, sure, whatever. Putting them on drugs, not gonna do fucking anything. It just masks the problem. It's like Tom Cruise says. I know you guys don't like Tom Cruise, whatever, the Scientology shit, but he's right. The drugs only masks the problem. You're not getting to the root of the problem. Now, I don't agree with Tom and Scientology and all that stuff, but he has a right to believe and join whatever the hell he wants to join. But I'm simply saying, when he was having that argument with Matt Lauer in 2005, when he was promoting War of the Worlds, okay, about Brooke Shields, he was right when he said to Matt Lauer, I said, well, listen, the drugs are just masking the problem. It's just like a morphine. It just helps you for a little bit. It calms you down for a little bit, and then you need more. But it doesn't get to the root of the problem. It doesn't fix the root of the problem, of what the issue is inside the core of the problem, okay? So I agree with him on that. You guys more than welcome to disagree. That's fine. I don't care. So there's all kinds of people out there. You got crazies, you got lunatics, mentally ill people, you got bipolar, schizophrenics, short-tempered people, you got racists. On all sides of the aisle, you got racists. I don't care what skin color you are. There's always one racist. There's always a certain racist in there, in that group, that hates the other group. Okay, and then you got these hardcore party groups. There's plenty of different kinds of people out there. You got religious nuts. I mean, the list is so big for me to be naming. It is, look, all you need to know, 7.2 billion people or 7.4 billion people on this planet, all kinds of craziness out there, all kinds of different complex individuals on both sides of the sexes, okay? So that's people. And when you have those kinds of people out there, and when you have when they have the access to the internet, when you have all those kinds of people and they have access to the internet, it is very easy for them to say what they want to say, to go after who they want to go after. It's easy for them to do that because they're getting a safe haven. This, for them, it's a safe haven to hide behind the keyboards and to say what they want to say. So what can you do? Well, there's just two things you can do. Because it is internet and everybody has access to the internet. You got 7 billion people out there. Anybody can get access to the internet, okay? So what can you do? Well, there's two things you can do. Number one, ignoring is the best. Okay, just ignoring, it's the best, because what's the point? You know, you don't know who this person is. Who knows where he's from? He could be on the other side of the planet. Why waste your time? Why waste your nerves? Why waste your energy on whoever this individual is? Okay, ignore him. Ignore him. It's the number one. That's the best option. Ignoring. They will quit eventually because they want you to take the bait. They want you to take the hook, line, and sinker, and they want you to dance to their tunes. Don't dance to their goddamn tunes. I said that millions of times. Don't take the damn bait. All right, so that's number one. Number two, block them, remove them. Takes you less than, I don't know, like less than 5 minutes. I mean, not even less than 5 minutes. Actually, less than 5 minutes if you want to block 10 or 20 people or 30 people. That's how quick it is. So why waste your time writing back to somebody when you can block 10 or 20, 30 people within 5 minutes? Maybe even more, okay? So ignore and block. Very simple. That's what you do. What about the individuals who has their channels and YouTube, it's constantly recommending their channel to you and you don't like these individuals? Very simple. Just go click on the settings and write down and let them know. Choose the option. There's an option when you click on the settings of that individual video. You can choose the options that I don't find this video interesting, and please do not recommend this video to me ever again. You have the option to filter that certain channel. I have filtered a bunch of channels because I don't like them and I don't want to see them being recommended to me, nor do I want to watch that shit. Okay, so what I do, I filter them out and I click that I don't want these channels to be recommended to me. And the Google automatically will remember your settings and they will never ever recommend this channel to you unless you go looking for them purposely. That's a different story. Remember what I said. If you go to these individuals' channels and you click on their video and you watch their video, well, then it's your fault. Means you go there purposely because you're curious. You want to see what this bozo has to say, even though you know he's a bozo, you know he's a douchebag, or whatever, but you still go there. So you can only blame yourself. All right. So 3 things. All right. Ignore, block, and tell the YouTube, click on the settings that I don't want this channel to be recommended to me. On Twitter, it's easy. Just block. Just block. And no one can join you. No one can be your friend on Twitter unless you accept them. So don't accept anybody out there. Check them out first. See if they're bogus. Do they have a check mark on there? You can tell if there's a bogus profile, if it's a bullshit profile. It's very easy to say. It's really easy to tell. If you can't tell by now, it's late in 2019. If you can't tell by now that this individual is a bogus, fake bullshit profile, then it's on you, man. Then it's on you, brother. You should be able to tell by now if it's a fake or real channel or real profile. And there's a lot of fake profiles out there, so you should know exactly. And if you don't know, well, it's on you, man. Okay? So that's pretty much it. I've been using this. I've been doing this. I've been, filtering certain channels that I don't want. Block, remove, and ignore. Ignore, block, and remove. It's IBR. Well, let's just call it IBR. Ignore, block, remove. It's really not that difficult. Let's have some more of this coffee. But you see, I'm always positive, dude. I'm all about the love. You see, this is the love. It's all about the love, man. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Because you have to remember, when you're on the internet, like I said earlier, it's a safe haven for individuals to say what they want to say. Okay? No one is going to say it to you in your face. I guarantee you. Go to the gas station right now. Fill up your gas tank and look around. Just look around and see if anybody comes to you and says, go fuck yourself. No one's going to do that. No one's going to fucking approach you and say, go fuck yourself. Unless you happen to be dealing with a drunk who is drunk, obviously, and he's not in a state of mind that he realized what's going on. Or if you're dealing with druggie who's on drugs, or somebody who is highly high on cannabis or weed, then you can tell that this person is under some kind of influence. So ignore, fuck that, right? But anybody who's in their right state of conscience, mind, no one's gonna fucking approach you and say, hey, go fuck yourself, or screw you, I don't like the way you look. No one's gonna do that in real life to you. Why? Because they don't want to lose their life. They don't know who you are, what you're capable of, and they don't want to gamble with their life, okay? Everybody loves their life. Nobody wants to gamble. So no one's going to do that to you in real life. They do it where it's safe behind the fucking keyboard. What do you have to do? Well, don't take the goddamn bait. Don't take the bait. Why do you take the bait? Hook, line, and sinker. That's what they want. They want you to take the bait, all right? So take it from me, Mr. Experience. No, really, I've been doing this now for 6 years. If anybody has better experience and trial and error, it is me, because I have gone through, so many of them. And I made my mistakes, I had my trial and error, but I learned from it. I got better, As a matter of fact, there's a video by Review Tech of USA. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think he's a reasonably good guy, and he's honest. He tells you, yes, I talk about the news, I talk about the tech, and he said it. That's what he talks about. If you don't like it, don't watch him. But there was a video where he said what are the like the necessary things? What are the top 10 or top 20 rules not to destroy your YouTube career or something like that? And all of the stuff that he said, I agree. I agree. You know, you can't really. You got to understand where you are. Before I end this video, this coffee log, you have to. Excuse me, this coffee is too strong. Hold on. Guys, you can't. You have to understand where you are. You are on the internet. That's number one. So agree to yourself to say, hey, dude, I am on the internet. Okay? And 7.4 billion people have access to it. All kinds of shady people, hackers have access to it. So I gotta be careful. And I also can't let shit bother me because I am on the internet. Okay? So you can't let shit bother you. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. The words can hurt. But you got to be able to ignore that shit. Okay? Because you have to realize that you are on the internet. Okay? Where these individuals can say whatever they want to say because it's a safe haven for them to say it. Okay? Okay, and one more video. I mean, not video. One more thing I want to say. There will be a coffee vlog number 4 coming tomorrow. But one more thing I want to say is regarding Joe Rogan and Bob Lazar, because on his latest podcast with Dan Aykroyd, he, you guys know who Dan Aykroyd is. He done Ghostbusters and bunch of movies, Blues Brothers in the past, and he's a strong believer in UFOs because his mother was in part of aviations with the hurricanes and all that, hurricane hunters. So he was always part of aviation. He's flying for crying. He's a sheriff and he also flies the airplanes in Canada. So what really ticked me off about the Joe Rogan is that I finally realized that he's a flip-flop, that he's a sellout. Joe Rogan is officially a flip-flop and a sellout. Why? Because he invited Bob Lazar, and Bob Lazar was kind enough, out of his heart, kind enough to fly in, pay for the ticket himself, to fly into Los Angeles to meet Joe Rogan in the Valley in his studio out there in LA, okay? And Joe Rogan told him, listen, I believe you, man. I believe you saw something, you worked on something. I believe you, man. Why would you lie? And Bob Lazar was kind of reassured and happy that he believes him and that he likes the movie, that he saw it, the documentary by Jeremy. And then what did he say on the latest podcast to Dan Aykroyd? He said, I want to believe all of them. I want to believe all of them. But I don't believe Bob Lazar. I think they're all full of shit. I want to believe all of them. So you didn't have the courage, Joe. You didn't have the courage to tell Bob Lazar in his face that I don't believe you, man. I think you're full of shit. But now when Bob Lazar is not in your studio, you're telling it to Dan Aykroyd. And Dan Aykroyd got really kind of pissed off that he said that you don't believe Bob Lazar. Dan Aykroyd said flat out, that I believe Bob Lazar. I believe him. And so do I. And why do I believe Bob Lazar? Because in 1989, we didn't even know that the Area 51 exists. The government kept it secret. They never said, hey, there's the Area 51, which is 150 miles, not 150 miles, I'm sorry, 75 miles northwest of Las Vegas. 75 miles northwest of Las Vegas, middle of nowhere. Okay? I believe him. I believe him because he was the one that broke the news about the Area 51. Okay? And then finally in 1996, Bill Clinton had to push some buttons to have the Air Force and the Navy acknowledge that the Area 51 exists. Because people who worked there died. They were exposed to all kinds of chemicals and shit and they died. There was a big lawsuit, okay? And Bill Clinton had no choice. He had to acknowledge that the Area 51 exists. So who broke the news? Who broke the news about the Area 51, Joe? in 1989. Bob Lazar. Who broke the news on how these craft flies? Bob Lazar. Who broke the news about the element 115? Bob Lazar. And then you have the audacity to say to his face, to lie to his face, that you believe him, and then when he's not there in his studio, you take all kinds of bullshit and shit, and you say that I don't trust him, I want to believe him, that he's full of shit and all this other crap. Come on, man. Listen, you guys can watch the podcast. Watch the podcast of Bob Lazar, and then after that, podcast of Joe Rogan. And listen, this is what you do. I know I'm kind of going fast through this shit. It's a coffee. It's making me angry. Watch the podcast of Joe Rogan and Bob Lazar. And when you finish watching that podcast, Bob Lazar, Joe Rogan, then go watch Dan Aykroyd, actor, Joe Rogan podcast, who was there, the guest, Dan Aykroyd. So watch that second, and you will see how he just brushed Bob Lazar off as like a fluke, as a loony toony, tinfoil hat, all that shit. And it pissed me off, dude, totally. So that shows me that Bob Lazar, that shows me that Joe Rogan is flip-flop. He flip-flopped. I want people to own, this is what I'm trying to say. I want people to own it. If you don't believe Bob Lazar, just say it. Say it to his face and tell him, dude, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm glad you came here to do a podcast with me, but I don't believe you. Own it. Why can't people own it? This is what bothers me about the people. You know, if you want to be an asshole, fucking own it. If you want to be a racist, fucking own it and be a racist. Okay? If you want to be some hateful person, be that fucking hateful person, but own it. Fucking own it. If you're a hardcore Republican, fucking own it. If you're a hardcore Democrat, fucking own it. You know, but don't try to go both different fucking ways and try to kiss ass. Stand your ground to what you are. Stand your fucking ground to who you are. And this is what bothers me about people like Joe. He's constantly just flip-flopping. Flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. But when your guest is not there, then you say whatever you want to say. Come on, man. Come on, dude. And I don't know why Joe Rogan fans cannot see this. Why can't they see this, man? You know, why can't they see that this guy is just flip-flopping? You know, Alex Jones was right. And look, and I'm not a huge fan of Alex Jones. He's got his problems too. But I'm simply saying Alex Jones was right about Joe Rogan. He is wishy-washy. He is a flip-flop. He's a sellout. He's a shill. Okay, it is freaking obvious. And he's just after this. Why he's after this? Because he has family, man. He's got a big house. He's got tons of cars. He needs this fucking shit. I don't want to hear it. Oh, he doesn't need the money. Bullshit. Yes, he fucking needs the money. How you think he paid for all of that? He needs the goddamn money. All right? I don't want to fucking hear it. If he didn't need the money, then why the fuck are you putting the advertisers on your podcast? All right. So, there you have it, guys. It's a bit longer, but I have to get this off my chest. Guys, I got to tell you how I feel. And that's what this coffee is. The coffee always tells the truth. Remember, the coffee, Mr4Koffee, always tells the truth. I'm just here to tell it to you like I see it. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm here to call it the way I see it. And that's the way I always am. I call people the way I see them. And this is why I lost so many friends. Because I find out they're not truly my friends. I find out that they're a bunch of bullshitters. They're a bunch of fake ass. They're a bunch of shills. Bunch of flip-flops. Bunch of backstabbers. So guess what I did? I brushed them off. I don't fucking talk to them anymore. I don't keep in touch with them ever. For years. I don't care if they're married, if they have a family or they live somewhere. I don't give a shit. When I'm done with somebody, I'm done with them. I don't ever look back. I close that chapter and I move the fuck on, guys. Life is too short for you to be wasting your time on fake people, fake friends, and bogus bullshit, you know? And there's a lot of fake people out there. Fake friends. You need to avoid fake friends like a fucking cancer. Because that's what they are, a fucking cancer. And you don't need that shit in your life, man. All right? There you go. Tomorrow I'm going to see you guys with a vlog number 4. This is probably my longest coffee vlog, so I'm sorry about that. And I know how much you guys love these things, right? So I'll see you on number 4 tomorrow.